Mike the Disgruntled Mechanic here. Got the 555D Ford, and what I want to show you is how I removed the injection pump. Now, I'm not sure I did it right. All you experts out there, if you know a little more, please comment. Feel free, help me out. I'll take any constructive criticism. But what I did was I had to remove the injection pump on this. From what I've been told, this is a DPA style injection pump. This is the front that meshes into our gear that drives it and times it. And I'll show you what I did there to take this out. And then basically you have your fittings that goes, as this spins, it'll feed each injector. It's a distributor type. And what I always think of is, because I'm more familiar with cars, is, you know, it's just like your distributor. It'll take and shoot fuel to each one of the injectors as it comes around. So anyhow, remember, this is the front, and the one thing I want to tell you is it's keyed, and it has a Woodruff key in it, because this makes a difference and makes it, what I think, easier when you're actually taking this out and timing it. Now I'm going to try and show you some of this. I'm going to try and get the lighting in there, but it's very tight in there, so I'll go through the steps and point it out, and hopefully I'll have a video of putting this back on and showing everybody exactly, you know, see if it runs when it gets installed again. So let me show you what I did to take this off. So the first thing I did was drain down the radiator, took this top radiator hose off to get that out of the way. Then the next thing I did was, you may be able to see the pullers in here. I'm going to try and get you a better shot in here, but the fan and everything's there, so it's pretty hard. But then there was just a cover to get to your timing gear off the pump. So I took that cover off. Then I'll show you what was done next. So what I did next was, if you can see here, there is timing marks here, and there is a 0 here. And this is the side where the pump came off. And what I did was I scribed the pump aligning to that 0 on the pump flange. And if you look inside there, you can see the back side of the pump and where that Woodruff key that I talked about would go into. Now I'll try and show you what we did in the front with removing the plate. But next I will show you, you know, where I marked, how I marked the pump so that it stayed on there for when we put it back on. So if you look here on the pump flange, that is where I scribed it, put a notch in there. That'll go at our 0 mark when we put it in. And let me lift this up a little bit. There's our Woodruff key. Now we're going to want to try and align that. You saw that slot back here in the back of the gear. We're going to want to try and align that. Well, we have to align that Woodruff key into that slot, and technically, from what I read, that should time it and it should be ready to go. And the guy who rebuilt it said the same thing. That should make her good to go. There's no way I can get back in here because there's just not enough room. But what I will tell you is, right where the puller's still on, we just left the puller on to hold the gear in place. You know, the gear, the pump gear. So the book tells you can fashion a smaller puller to get in here to actually pull the gear off of the pump. We used a regular puller, and as you can see, it was close. But if you move the fan to the right place, you can get the stem of your puller back here. You can get that in to actually do it, but you got to be careful because you could poke through your radiator, so keep that in mind. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to get you in there even with a camera to see what we did with the mark. But you want to line the timing up, and what we did was from the cam gear to the pump gear, even though from what I've read, if you put that, that keyway, if you put the Woodruff pin back in to the keyway slot and get this on 0, that's supposed to be timed. But we still marked the teeth on each gear, one on, as I said, one on the injection pump gear and one on, and a mark on the cam gear, so we can make sure when we put it all together it does mesh back. Now, of course, you want to unhook your battery and you want to make sure that nobody turns the engine over, or you're going to have a problem. You're probably going to have a mess of gears in there too. But so the battery's all undone and everything. So then, of course, before you remove the pump after you get the gear popped off, it was just a matter of taking your lines off and any of your linkage, which all that should be the same when it goes on. So that was pretty much the process of removing it. I just wanted to try and get you a shot of, it's really tough. Let me put some more light on it. But there's the gear, and we marked it down below that. I can't get down in there because it's so tight, but that is the puller on your injection pump gear, and then of course the cam gear is over there, and we have it marked where it stopped. There's a little recess where you can actually get in there to mark it and actually see when the marks come together in the part there, where you see where the threaded part is. If you go down in that, there's a little recess, and that's where you can line up your timing marks. So just a couple other little tips, or a tip. When you're looking through the service manual, be careful, because they made these in a 3-cylinder and a 4-cylinder model, and your 3-cylinder injection pump is slightly different, has a different timing mark than your 4-cylinder. Also, the book shows that your injection pump gear has a dowel. Well, this one doesn't have any dowel. It has the keyway and the Woodruff key in it. So make sure you read the manual. I'm not even sure that I've done everything right, I'll be honest, because I usually don't mess with diesels, but the guy wanted $750 to come and pick the backhoe up to take it to his place, just to take the pump off, and then I would have had to pay for the rebuild on top of that. So if this works out, I save $750, and he told me he couldn't take the pump off here at my place. And from what I've seen, especially, like I said, if everything goes back together, I just did it with the tools that I had here. I brought a few from home, but they were my Husky wrenches and my DeWalt tool set, and we got it off. So, and I think we can get it back together with those same tools. Why he said he couldn't do it here, I don't understand. Maybe as this process goes and I go to put it back together, maybe I will understand. So anyhow, this is Mike, the Disgruntled Mechanic, saying thanks a lot for watching, and just remember, if you can get somebody else to do it, you're probably better off. Unless, of course, you can save $750 by doing it yourself and not messing up. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Oh, you dirty, rotten bolt! How could you break off? You dirty, rotten mother! Oh, dirty, rotten! How dare you break? Oh, I can't believe it broke off! Not again! Oh, man alive! Son of a... Oh, I can't believe it broke off! Jesus! No wonder I'm the disgruntled mechanic!